Go live.
I need to 1 second. You are live. I'm switching to your
Hello.
screen, main screen.
Hello.
Hello,
Okay,
Goran.
nice. Hi. Cool. I think we are live. Hi everyone. Welcome to the next weekly episode of the Musical Chairs. After the last week's stream with Jim, which was filled with just bad posting and all the negativity, here we are. BTC is up like
15%.
yeah, like 15%. So hopefully you made some better financial decisions in the last 7 days than us. But yeah, before
we're still useful as counter indicators, so that's still value.
Before we jump into the video, as always, the stream is sponsored by Coin Market Manager, a fully automated journal. If you are going to use our link, which you will find in the description, you will make a new account on Bybit, connected to the Coin Market Manager. You will get all the features for free instead of paying the monthly fee. So that's kind of a nice thing you can get. So with that being said, I think we can jump straight into the charts, not my screen, right here. Okay, so BTC, the last week we spoke, we were sitting basically after this kind of a long ass candle here, and since then we filled the candle completely. I think I kind of briefly mentioned last week that if this is not going to start to get basically the breakdown, which everyone was kind of anticipated after the rejection like this is more of a bullish thing, but without any kind of a huge LARPing here, I wasn't able to get long into this. So we had this move to the upside on the BTC. My plan is very, very simple for upcoming days, at least for the next week. I don't see a much of a good risk reward being long here, basically, like where pure stock is going to go and all of that. So if you miss the initial move, I think this is kind of not the spot to go long. On the daily time frame, and I can even go to like a weekly, even though, or like 3-day to kind of crunch this a little bit. There is a yearly high right here, which is at 32k give or take, and then there is this kind of a gap on. Let me just kind of put this in a little bit better colors. There is basically this kind of gap. We had this kind of breakdown in May 2022, where the prior standard deviation of plus 1 standard deviation from the yearly VWAP set, and it's a 3 standard deviations from this year VWAP. So like my biggest kind of this is going to overextend this hell type of scenario is targeting basically 35k. Like I said, prior year plus 1 standard deviation, the 3 standard deviation for the year. So from this year VWAP, this is a 3 standard deviation move. That's kind of a rare thing to happen. You can see this last year when we had these huge sell-offs. Like we had at least some sort of kind of corrections when we hit these 3 standard deviations, and there is like a general SR and this kind of liquidity gap. So for me, 35k, 35.2 to be more precise, is like the biggest kind of overextension target. But I will be definitely watching the yearly high, the July highs basically, and then the May high. This kind of a start of the liquidity gap between 32.7 basically k for either like slowing down and even possible shorts. I know that kind of the sentiment at the moment is that shorting is banned and we are never going to pull back anymore. But yeah, I think these levels that I have marked out here, if market kind of going to slow down again and start to distribute again, there will be a decent short opportunities. I'm not saying this is obviously going to hit 32k and do the couple style thing and go to 12k from here, but any type of intra-week, intra-day trade should be decent from these levels. Where I would get long, it's very simple.
Just Adam, I think your screen again lagged.
My screen is again stuck. That's awesome. So I'm going to just stop streaming. Yeah, start screaming. I have no idea what's going on with the.
We have to cut
Discord.
the call. Now it's working.
Okay. So yeah, we should be back. Let's hope we are back. For the longs, obviously, as sidelined and coping, I'm looking at basically this kind of breakout level. The 29 to 28 point K. I think this is a very solid level to go long. There is a this kind of a dip inside the volume, so you have this little bit of a LVN area. You have a consolidation that started this move right here basically, and little underneath that you have 200 and 100 daily moving averages. This is the simple one and the exponential one. So any kind of dip here, I wouldn't most likely buy just blindly, but would look to longs basically. Anything under 29k is a decent one. But as things are looking at the moment, I think we are hitting these upper targets first, and then we kind of see what's going to happen from there. To my point, I don't think this is worth to just try to short blindly, because obviously you are shorting prior resistance. You have resistance here. Even like deleting all the indicators and all the fancy stuff here. If you short prior resistance, and if you kind of ever traded anything, there is a very simple kind of thing. When you are basically want to buy a prior support, like we have one right here. This is the FTX news back in November. Like if you are buying prior support or selling prior resistance, you never know how much of kind of this overshoot you're gonna get. For this case, we dipped under the support lows basically 10%. So for me, just going blindly short when we hit 32k doesn't really make sense, because this can very, very easily do something like this, and I definitely not interested in just sitting in a huge drawdown. So nothing for me to trade blindly, but I think these are some of the levels that should provide a solid kind of reaction coming to the BTC. So this is my plan. ETH is weaker still. I think ETH BTC is maybe a little bit up. Yeah, it's not. It's dying again. ETH in general, even without looking at ETH BTC, I think it's just doesn't really make that much sense to me to kind of go long, as we are still sitting underneath the VWAP. If you're just going to take a look, without talking shit about ETH, which is kind of a popular thing to do, you can look at ETH sitting inside this VWAP structure, still underneath the yearly VWAP. Also, we have both of these EMAs, the daily 200 and 100 EMAs sitting right here. So this is at much kind of a bigger resistance. My screen disappeared from sharing, or?
Yeah, I really don't know what the fuck is Discord doing. 1 second. Let me put it.
So I'm just going to reshare it.
1 second.
Sorry guys, we're gonna
fucking hell.
Do something better with the calls.
No, but it's first time. It's first time this is happening. So I don't know why the fuck is this happening this stream or last two streams.
Yes, I think we should be back with the screen at this. So like I said, ETH is just a weaker coin here. It doesn't really make much sense. Obviously, as BTC was like super strong, ETH still rallied, and there were actually like more better risk defined entries on ETH. Like I missed like the move, for example, the way that I trade. I just don't go long when market is just like going one directional very, very quick, because I think this is like a poor risk to reward ratio for most cases. You can see that BTC, this H4 chart, just basically went in a straight line. ETH had this more of like a structured move. We basically made a kind of a V reversal, tested the level here. So from like a risk to reward perspective, this is much better trade. Obviously your returns are kind of shittier on that, but from like a bigger time frame perspective, as long as ETH BTC is just down only, I don't see many reasons to try to long ETH. This is like, obviously ETH BTC is like super overextended to the downside, but I wouldn't most likely look for a bounce. And I'm not like a biggest TA on here, but these kind of lows, and maybe even like this low right here at like 49.54. So I'm not sure with this. This doesn't look like it's finding any sort of bottom at the moment. So yeah, my quick thoughts here on BTC and ETH. Obviously, if market is going to take turn, I think ETH might be a decent short rather than trying to short Bitcoin. And yeah, I think as long as kind of obviously BTC is up like 15%, I think the most talk was in altcoins, and like the biggest moves were still in altcoins. And finally, obviously, saying the blue chip altcoin is a little bit of a meme, but yeah, we had like a move in like a decent coins like Sol and Link, so we can talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll just, if that's it for BTC on your side.
Yeah, I think just the TLDR, I would look to buy between 29 to 28 and short anything above 32, and like my biggest overextension target for this like one directional move would be 35. You can share your screen.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, maybe just a few things to add. I think there's a big significant, I've been spamming about it on Twitter, but there's significant right now, like I fully agree with the fading blindly, especially leveraged, like if there's somebody who actually has experience scaling or TVApping into their positions, then like if they know what the fuck they're doing. But I assume, and what I've seen, a lot of people just, let's say they want to open $10,000 position, they open $10,000 position at that one point, so that blindly entering like that is definitely retarded. But for the context, I think we've seen a lot of interesting patterns in BTC and obviously the rest of the market as well. I would love to touch on it. Sorry for those who've seen it on Twitter. Is the CME, and just in general today's, for example, US session. So on all higher time frames, I fully agree with Adam, and I would like to just pinpoint where New York Open happened, which is like 1:30 UTC, right, Adam? So it's basically
yeah.
So just look again at my favorite part. You see that the like direction is kind of sideways, but then opens and like it's not even up, it's kind of like parabolic at this point. And you even see it with like order flow. I know I could do it on hourly chart, but on 5 minute it'll be easier to see. You see just open interest and CVDs going parabolic. So again, in higher volumes, obviously, but that's normal. So just interesting observation. I think the ETF thing is very real, and that's why we see ETH BTC down only and the usual Bitcoin beta performing.
We also, what is kind of worth to mention without, once again, kind of macro LARPing and all of that, is that we had a solid bounce today in the legacy markets. The ES and both Nasdaq are up quite a bit today. Bouncing from like a decent levels on a higher time frame, and I think gold is kind of slowing down after a huge parabolic move. Just kind of very quickly to show this, Nasdaq, we had this kind of double bottom. You can see how we just kind of tipped that big reversal. The S&P is kind of bouncing from the yearly VWAP, and gold, I think gold is super overextended at this point, and on lower time frames is showing some little bit of weakness today as well. So definitely, if there is going to be this kind of a risk on move, and I even think that dollar is weak. Like look at euro, you look at pound. This is my COPE chart because I'm actually long pound instead of any sort of altcoin, which is up like 25%. But there is a definitely weakness in dollar and decent amount of strength today in even like DAX and stuff like that. So definitely can be kind of a nice condition for a little bit of a continuation, even though I think that correlation is still with like TradFi is still a little bit of a meme, but something worth to kind of mention.
Holy shit, Bitcoin. Maybe one thing, then we move to altcoins because today's stream can actually be kind of interesting. I switch back to mine. For a sec, the classic watch list, why I believe it's all ETF and Bitcoin beta, or in general, what's been good Bitcoin beta. Obviously, sorry, I didn't mean to click. MicroStrategy, Coinbase being up like 8 and 9% respectively, and Bitcoin mining companies up 12% each, with Bitcoin dominance up only, GBTC up only, ETH BTC down only. We repeat it often, but it's 1000% ETF related, and there's, Well, I want to move to altcoins for now because I also maybe the very last thing today we were expecting, or market expected some news from SEC, Quartz, and Grayscale situation, because 7-day window passed, but so far no fucking news. So that's a bit embarrassing. But I think having this move last few days, I don't think any headline matters really, unless we get like a straight up rejection. I don't think any headline can stop this momentum. There's a lot of market buying in the right now.
Yeah.
So let's go to altcoins. Bitcoin is boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like people are kind of going batshit crazy about like move on BTC now, and a lot of these altcoins, like Link, obviously, for example, is up like I don't know how much. But
Screen lagged again. At this point I'm losing my shit.
Okay, we're gonna reshare that. Yeah, I think like people going obviously crazy about
1 second.
all of the altcoins. But if you're gonna take a look at the charts, I think I'm sharing the screen again.
Yeah, I'm switching.
For Solana, if you're gonna take a look at Sol, if you're gonna take a Link, these things were in range. Link has been in range since June 2022. Solana has been basically in this kind of a range, right here since start of the year. So like these moves are not that kind of insane based on how much compressed these markets are. Kind of a thing to just to mention. But if the momentum is going to be strong, I think Runner has more to say about this. There are some narratives that we can be watching for the upcoming days and weeks.
Probably Phantom, which is on your watch list.
Yeah, it's right here. We have some things. We have some news.
Phantom Sonic. I don't know
much,
what it
yeah,
is. I honestly, I'm coping so hard about being sidelined that it's like that phase of emotional, how to say, like, fuck this market, it's all scam anyways. No, Phantom, look, it has some Phantom Sonic thing, which should make the blockchain 4 times faster. I don't care. I don't think it matters that much. Make it 4 times faster for 0 transactions is 0 times 4 times doesn't mean shit. But also Andre Kronia, the main dev, I believe has been tweeting or posting something, so that's usually a good sign when it comes to trading Phantom historically. Like whenever Andre is back to shilling, it's like like a good sign. But I think it's worth mentioning that Phantom had this issue a few weeks ago or a few days ago, I don't remember. Did you read that shit when they had
no
something like one of the devs or deployers or something basically got hacked? And previously with the multi-chain thing, the whole multi-chain thing, that's kind of old, but like Phantom had a very bad series of like bad news last 6 months.
Okay.
And maybe now that's why I've seen a lot of people longing it, because that's like it's down so much so it can bounce more argument.
Yeah.
But that's for Phantom, yeah. And also Halloween is around the corner next week, if I'm not mistaken, and spooky coin, and they have the spook swap or
yeah, there's like a spooky swap or whatever that costs. But I think they kind of went down at the point. I remember I actually used that in 2021, but I believe it doesn't really exist anymore. But yeah, like Phantom had this huge like a team when it comes to Halloween and all this kind of stuff.
Again the chart swapped. Hell, it's not even. I don't know.
You can just use your chart. It's going to be much easier to not restarting all of this. And
so Phantom, just let me know what you want to be looking at, and
yeah.
You want to look at only chart, or you want to look at order flow, and watch time frame? Just tell me, ticker, time frame. I'll do
entry, stop, everything. Yeah, no, I think Phantom is super overextended at this point. Is up 25%. And it's one of these coins that there's like, it's down. It's down a lot. It's down 95% from all-time high. It's like way underneath the kind of any big reference point as well. So I think these like you need to when you kind of look at things too long now.
I think it's the chart. Holy shit!
It's really a smart thing to do to focus on things like like INJ, Solana, Link. The things that are like not obviously they are still like down a lot from all-time highs, but they have been doing like, look at things that were doing great this year already, because that's the most likely the places where we're just going to continue with like, you know, flow of basically new money and everything. I don't really, you know, like I don't believe there is like any huge kind of fundamental thing for any altcoin that should be like such a big deal that would, you know, send something that's even this year we're performing like shit to like a new not all-time highs, but new like yearly highs, for example. So definitely my focus from this kind of point now on, and if, you know, obviously BTC is going to look strong, or even if BTC is going to go maybe sideways and ETH BTC is going to find some sort of like, you know, like temporary bottom, I would definitely be looking at stuff like Solana, INJ, Link, what else is there? Maybe Rune, Maker, you know, these things that were just like doing well already, and not something, you know, like Phantom, which has been basically down kind of only. Yeah, it's basically trading around a yearly open price.
Yeah,
that's actually a good kind of I think I'm not using like yearly opens and all these kind of open prices, but if you very quickly want to kind of assess if your coin is kind of a strong one or weak one, look at where the yearly open is and how far we are from it, would be kind of my, I guess, tip for people. But yeah, but that being said, I can see Phantom running to the point, because there is, you know, this Halloween stuff and they will have the update now.
But it's also pretty illiquid, right? Like illiquid
definitely. I think and I also think, to be fair, like these kind of technical updates, although you are going to call it fucking Sonic, which sounds more like MDMA than something update related. I don't think these things are exactly the things that will, you know, like drive in new retail, you know, participants. Like, who the fuck knows what that is even, you know? So yeah.
Phantom is doing right now, volume is basically more than 2x, and it's still at 121 million volume.
Yeah.
Which is relative. Like I fully agree with you. Like, Injective is probably the strongest coin, which isn't like a total scam, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sure people will call TRB.
Injective is like a layer 1 thing, right?
Yeah, on Cosmos.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, dude. Like, something is doing well on Cosmos. That's like a true, you know, how do you say it in English? Not 7 divu sveta. So this is like
wonder.
Yeah, 8 wonders in the world, or 7 wonders. I think like something on a Cosmos being strong is like 8-1.
Yeah. Someone asked about XRP. I think XRP is fairly doing fine. It didn't have this kind of huge rally, but I think purely from like TA perspective, I think this is going to go a little higher at least.
Plus it has the conference, right? So
yeah, it has the conference, and they keep getting these kind of positive SEC news, and I'm long, so that's probably the main reason. No, but I think XRP, if you're gonna take a look at like a daily chart, there is like the quadruple top at 55-56 cents. So like from technical perspective, there's like a
minute retest. And also Pentoshi bull tweeted today.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I think, like, I fully agree with you, and I tweeted it looks good, and I like, short obviously is on the table, but after the conference, because the community likes to be delusional. But the problem is, or like, I think context with these narratives, with XRP specifically, they had such a good, as you called it, such a good last 6 months. And I think it will be very, very hard to beat it, right? So I always think of these announcements or news as like a layup, right? Like, if you're doing like a trick shot in soccer or basketball, like, you always want to bet higher score, and there's nothing that beats the SEC beating in July. Nothing.
Also, if you are going to kind of zoom out on XRP, and your kind of volume profile on the right is going to expand a little bit, I think you will basically see that if you kind of not going to look at the July move, like we are still in like a huge range. Like there is a huge consolidation since August. There was a consolidation then in May and June. There was consolidation in April. There was consolidation in September through November 2022. You know, like we are like, if I would just like put kind of the mid price on last like year and a half or at least a year, we are going to be there, you know. So yeah, I think, and you don't want to be trading things that are in such a tight range, because obviously it takes a lot of effort to move them. So yeah, I mean, like, if anything, I'm just long XRP because I think that kind of quadruple top is going to get taken. But other than that, I think I think it's just it's not the best coin to pick to be long, in my opinion. And just, you know, I sometimes just take a trade because the TI is, you know,
maybe
alright.
on the flip side is because books are relatively thin, right? So contextual, also a lot of market makers pulled their activities or slowed down, and that's why we see a lot of these altcoin moves. So since now the trend is up on BTC, and I guess we can both agree, we mostly would recommend long side, if anything, in general in the market right now. So I think you want to be longing the thinner coins, maybe. I think it's more degen, but like Phantom moved for like 40% or Chainlink, and XRP, if it does, XRP does 40%, that will be, if I now do go, because again, Phantom 2x the volume is 120 mil, and XRP is 1.3 billion volume, and it's also 2x the volume.
Yeah. It's interesting, like one of the things I think it's interesting, and I know you have some sort of news about Aptos, which already I think happened or might happen, is that, you know, like Aptos is now, today is like one of the few coins that is actually down on a day.
Yeah, I have the chart. I believe Aptos, if maybe somebody in the chat can help, but it has something to do with the game. And I personally, this is just my speculation, in January we had such a strong move on Solana, and then Aptos is the new layer 1 followed, and I believe that's kind of the motion we are getting last few days. But I might be completely wrong, and I mean in general, right, all these narratives and altcoins fundamentals is a bit of like cope in general. It just helps you hold your position. Somebody asking about AVAX and Doge, we will look at them.
Yeah, I think AVAX, I haven't really looked at AVAX much. I think AVAX there is not, I don't know how is the whole, I think the whole social fi kind of died a little bit.
Oh, it's so wrecked. It's below yearly open still.
Yeah, I think the whole, and I don't even mean like AVAX, like the Stars Arena or whatever the call was. But I mean, like, the social fi in general died a little bit. It feels like even the friend tech, maybe like it will pick up the pace now since things are going up and everyone is kind of trying to turn the room into a new paid group type of thing.
But everybody bought the bottom, so they don't need the 0.1 ETH per month in fees.
But I don't know. I don't think AVAX is particularly kind of a good coin to buy because there is like nothing going on. You know, everything. You know, like basically when BTC is up 15% in last few days, and you're gonna take a look at altcoin, which is up like also 50% or even less than that, I don't think there is a reason to look at it.
Maybe even better chart is AVAX BTC, which I opened, and holy shit.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like when you want to long things,
brother, look at yearly open. It's minus 50% against BTC in this year alone.
Basically.
Wow.
Like if you are longing things, you want to be longing things that are outperforming BTC, and you can use altcoin BTC charts for that to kind of because if you're not longing something that is outperforming BTC, there's really no reason to be long that. You know, you can just be long BTC. You know, you are going to be trading more liquid thing. There is a you know, much less likelihood you will just get fucked on some sort of like wick or something like that. So yeah. But at the same time, if Bitcoin is going to be kind of a showing signs of weakness, these coins, you know, like shorting AVAX might be a good way to go, basically.
Watch this. I drew fractal because that's what people love seeing, but it's kind of crazy because it's kind of playing out. This is the BlackRock thing. I think I was kind of like, as you said, right, you don't want to be like shorting aggressively something that's such a parabolic structure, on anything. You want to wait for this type of, like in crypto, I would say we very rarely have like a V-shaped recovery, but how do you call it, on like a pump and dump, you know what I mean, like a full Dubai Tower, oh my god, what's the name, Burj Khalifa on like daily candle. So like you will have time to short, and as of right now, this fractal from here to like, it's actually pretty crazy how it's kind of playing out.
I think that token unlocks at this point are completely kind of irrelevant. The token unlocks trade, I feel like it's kind of a thing you can do when market is doing nothing. But you know, when there is a momentum, you know, I don't think there will be, like maybe a sell pressure, but I wouldn't, you know, like the token unlocks were already kind of crowded trades earlier this year, and now since we have like a legit kind of move in BTC, I wouldn't really pay too much kind of attention to that.
Or they have to be like really massive, right? Like DYDX is example we discussed
like
many
DYDX.
times. So I'm putting up the chart.
Someone asked, just quickly asking about Doge. I think Doge is kind of dead, to be fair. Or like, you know, it's like, it's on a daily chart, it's at the resistance, it's under those higher time frame moving averages, it's under yearly VWAP, is, you know, in kind of like nothing zone really for me. And
there's one thing about Doge, and I know some people might be watching, and I'll get a lot of shit on this in DMs, but basically 3 of Alpha Discord called 3 Cap Capital, or like Madvart, whatever you want to call it, and 3 of Alpha himself been long Doge for some time now, and I know he's been reducing side, but basically I know a lot of people just, you know, blindly copy trade, and basically the people, how to say it nice, politely, for a change. So I just know like people holding Doge from earlier, you know, so I think it's a bit of also pumping your bags type of thing. And Doge has this rocket launch. You know, Elon always likes to, whenever there's like a rocket related stuff.
I remember the last one.
Which we shorted, which was the explosion. That was in like March. This move.
Yeah, like definitely. I think really for Doge, like the biggest thing, which always be a thing, is that like you can just get this kind of like unexpected news, which will just pump the price up, or the rocket launch or whatever. But at this point, you know, I think Doge, like as long as is not getting integrated as payment for the Twitter Premium. I'm still not used to saying X Premium.
Sounds like a porn website.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a fucking Brazos subscription. But yeah, like as long like, and you mentioned this like a few months ago. I remember this, and it's kind of very valid point that like there was so many things, like so many good news coming to Doge with, you know, obviously Elon pumping in and everything is going to be like kind of a, like what's next basically. Like the only thing that can kind of fix this chart is, you know, if they will integrate it as a payment option for Twitter, or
and that will be the last nail in the coffin, I think. Did anybody draw this trend line yet from this? 1 second, it's reset. No, but I'm trying to make it
once again. I think you know, it's just one of those things. When I look at chart like this, I much rather would be just trading the stronger coins than this.
One thing I would like to give compliment to Doge is, I think what they're doing well as a team is staying to being a meme coin, because then you have Shiba trying Shibarium, you have Floki doing all the Viking shit and metaverse and whatnot. I think Doge is great in that sense because it's just a meme coin. They're not trying anything. Oh shit, they had Doge chain, so my bad.
But it's also like 10-year-old meme coin, you know. There's like nothing kind of, you know, like what's gonna can happen to this at this point. And like the thing is with, and it's not only about Doge, but a lot of these like coins, like if you're like gonna compare like Aptos and INJ, you know, like 2 completely different charts for a year. The difference here is that like the INJ, Solana, you know, Link now, and all of these like good performance, they have this kind of a new money flow. You know, like people are buying these things because they are doing well. You know, like new money are, you know, like new leverage is kind of flowing into these things. But if you're gonna take a look at Doge, if you're gonna take a look at, you know, Aptos and Avax, maybe like these things are only up because like there is this kind of a broad crypto correlation, and that's the only reason. So if you are going to long something like this, which is like much more dead than the other things that I mentioned, which are performing, fairly well, you are basically betting there will be some new, like fundamental, quote unquote, fundamental event, making new money coming into the coin, if that makes sense. So, which I definitely can see future, and I'd much rather not just to sit in a position hoping they will announce something, or something will miraculously happen, basically. So
We are below 31k. I think it's over. Maybe also let's talk about stacks.
Yeah, that's like a Bitcoin beta.
Yeah.
I never really traded that. I know we talk about this quite a.
It's actually it's not great, but it's like let's say if you open the chart, daily chart, which I have, it looks much better than AVAX. It looks much better than It's not like not injective level, but it's up there.
Above the moving averages. It's kind of rotating, throughout that kind of yearly VWAP structure. Yeah, it doesn't look bad, to be fair. It's definitely, but it's but this is up quite a bit from the lows. This is up like 35%. So yeah, it's good BTC beta. If this would be up like 15%, there's once again no reason to look into this. But yeah, this is outperforming percentage-wise, at least BTC. So
I think like the general, or maybe to put it very easy, because people always like to ask about these altcoins, and I understand why. I think if your altcoin is not up more than BTC, which you can always double check in Bitcoin pair, then I think you're just better off trading Bitcoin for the sake of your mental health, because your altcoin might be going up and down a lot and you're like stressed that you missed it in Bitcoin. So like and there's not that many altcoins that went higher than Bitcoin this year in terms of percentage. So really, I think the best advice I can give as someone who sucks at longing, try to long it, like as Abavat calls it, like long the winners, and
and
RNDR,
even
agreed.
And also RNDR is actually a good one as well. That's
it looks very similar as STX kind of.
Yeah,
it's AI coin now.
Yeah, it's AI coin. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. I actually been long this. I'm not logging anymore, but I've been logging this like a week or two ago.
Oh wow, it's up a lot. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's still holding up quite well. And definitely a coin to kind of watch if we are going to get a pullback.
That's exactly, should be on your list, I think. But like, look at this, right? 760 million market cap and 40 million aggregated volume. And this probably includes all the weird exchanges like Top Credit, ENT. What is it? Like, like exchanges you never.
But I know, like some of the coins, like like even obviously like the Twitter, like the crypto Twitter, and I follow like 250 people, so definitely it's a very small bubble. But there are some coins that I just keep seeing on my timeline, and RNDR is one of them. So I know this is like popular thing.
Maybe Matic as well.
Yeah, and actually there is this layer 2 thing. We talked about this yesterday.
No, it looks kind of shit. It's below yearly open.
Yeah. Like Matic is definitely not looking that well. I think OP is looking the best from the basket, but even OP is looking not the best. But I think Matic.
It's like this would be like a mid. Like compared to Doge, OP still looks good.
Yeah, and I think Matic is it doesn't look the best, but it got like super wrecked this year, so.
It's been all trader as that shorting this to zero. So.
Yeah. So there's something I wanted to talk about and then I forgot about it completely. So
maybe what I can do, what could help us, you think about the idea in Velo. Highly recommend use my ref link. I get 0 from it, but you go here in the menu, you go on market, and you can look at. Let's do last week, because this is since last time we streamed, and maybe we get some more inspiration from it. And these are without categorization, but like the strongest above 10% returns in last 7 days. Matic, Aptos, GMX, TRB, Aave, STX, Injective, SNX, Solana, Rune, Pepe, Link, FTM, FET, Key, AGold, LOL, Bluezell, Renderer, and DYDX. Just to name a few. And what it was interesting to me, remember when we tweeted how insolvent is Binance, and you said big time. It's one of the worst performance since last week. So it's actually a lot of the DW of coins, Lina, Arc, Hi-Fi, Loom. So it's interesting. I think that's kind of bullish, even though I'm always the perma bear. I think that's like a sign of market is healing, if anything. And
someone mentioned Aave. That's up a lot. I was looking at this today. I'm just like so over the DeFi rotation. I think it's just such a dead, washed kind of topic. But yeah, Aave is it broke the yearly VWAP today.
Somehow reminds me of Link. That structure at the bottom.
Yeah, there is definitely like a lot of highs to get kind of taken, and it's obviously like pushing quite a bit. I just hate to trade DeFi coins, to be fair, but yeah.
And it's like you have so many holders. Problem with some of these. Always please remember, if you have a chart that exists for years, somebody bought here, right? So you have this kind of unlimited selling pressure, and I'm not maybe not Aave, so please do your own research. But a lot of these are pretty inflationary. Like the token is useless. It's like it's really just a way to fund the project. Like the founders are happy.
Someone mentioned TRB. I'm not even. Yeah, there's like insane.
I'm not gonna
chart.
open it. Yeah, I'm not gonna open it.
That's like an insane up only chart, but yeah, I'm also not kind of trading this. I think like for me, a lot of kind of my move, for example, for the next year is going to be definitely focusing more on BTC. I think we had like decent rallies in altcoins this year, but if you're gonna kind of take out all these scams like TRB and all the DWF shit and everything, it's been kind of BTC the whole year. The kind of main thing, it's still holding value decently. So I think like for me at least something that I want to maybe do is just like focus more on Bitcoin into like a next year, and we will have the ETF as well. So Rune is looking okay as well. Rune is up a lot today only.
It's better than AVAX. But again, like this coin, by the time it pumps, it gets exploited 11 times. So it's just...
There are still some news. I know we talked about this previously. There are still some news coming to the Rune. I would maybe, if we're gonna get a pullback, it might be one of those coins that I would look
Oh wow, today. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This looks like
it's
Bitcoin.
Up a lot. Yeah, like 1.8 area is basically where we kind of broke from. I would be looking to get long there maybe. This is just like, even if you're gonna take a look at these and like these kind of huge like wicks on a daily chart, and this is a very hectic kind of coin. It's like it really shows that it's like just a very lower liquidity compared to anything else.
Again, always before trading anything, try to. Of course, volume is not the single most important metric, but try to just give it some thought, always think of like market cap to volume ratio and how much open interest there is, because sometimes you get suggestions of a coin that has like $3 million market cap, and it's just like you can literally be almost half of the open interest if you really wanted to. And it's a difficult thing to do then.
Someone asked about why we are looking at a daily chart and not 15-minute chart. That's kind of funny. I think like Runner is obviously trading 1-minute charts a lot.
I'm sidelined, so I'm trading my emotions right now.
I don't really trade intraday anymore. I also don't think that there would be much of a value in the stream if we would just like look at like 5-minute charts and be like, okay, there's a nice level, but in like 2 hours is completely irrelevant. So we kind of just try to provide at least like little higher time frame view of the things that might be even like for the upcoming week, basically, not for upcoming 2 hours. So
and it's like it's hard to convey, right? Because there's like some of these like liquidation and like mean reversion trades, whatever people call it these days, basically trading liquidation cascades. By the time you're done typing the tweet, the trade is gone. And then people are like, oh, hindsight trader, congratulations, bro. It's like, and it's hard in general, like market is pumping, people, it's really hard, right? Like making these calls on Twitter, then you get something wrong and people like, you should consider going to Nuselski most, like.
I trade I trade higher time frames. Yeah, I don't day trade it anymore. I trade more market. I don't trade only crypto. So I'm kind of boomer in heart and still kind of trade all the boring stuff as well. So it's much easier for me to navigate only trading higher time frames.
But it changes, right? I think it's important to say. So let's say last 2 months or 3 months, we had a lot of these sell the news type plays, and right now it's silly idea to even think about shorting altcoins, right? So it kind of, I think it's important to realize, hey, maybe it's how do you call it, like a regime changed a bit. Maybe now, like I see more for you, like I see more stuff in TradFi, it's cleaner or something. It's just natural. Like you don't have to take the one trade all year. I think that's kind of silly.
Yeah. I think like when it comes to these like sell the news events, I think like there is still this like a difference between the news that like SHIB had and the news that like Phantom is having now. Like the blockchain upgrade is definitely a different thing there, or the XLM tweeting about we will make a news in 2 days, and it's just kind of some like a random failure basically. So it will change definitely, but I still think like the more one directional the market will go, there will be the shorts, there will be large liquidations. It's just it will always happen. It's still very retail kind of driven market, and when people will feel the most comfortable, that's when the kind of a huge flush is going to come. So I don't think this is like necessarily a start of new bull market. Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
But it's interesting, right? What are your thoughts? Maybe I know we discussed levels and whatnot, but how do you feel the human psychology is going to play out? So let's say there's this ETF thing, people are clearly buying during CME hours, during US Open, you see a lot of Coinbase premiums and whatnot. How do you think the remaining, like, what I'm trying to ask? Like, how do you see this play out in terms of people FOMOing? Because Bitcoin daily chart, holy smokes.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, we definitely can have a bull run when people just start buying, and one of the best kind of advertisement for people start buying is when price is up. So definitely there is this option. In my opinion though, like if you're going to look at 2020 and 2021 and even 2017, in 2017 I feel like crypto has this like a big first mainstream kind of hit, so that was mainly a driver of a lot of these things. In 2020, 2021, obviously we had a money printing machines kind of, turned on. So definitely, there was these like a bigger kind of influences. But at the same time, obviously if price just continues to go up, let's say that like if ETF is a big success and it will bring a lot of volume, people will just start buying, and for a lot of people that will be that kind of driver to just enter the markets again. I still fairly strongly stand by the fact that the best kind of performing things of any kind of a extended rally, obviously we have a rally that lasts like a week now, so I wouldn't really call this like a long-term trend. But like the best performance of that will still, in my opinion, be the new coins and new scams and all that kind of novelty that can happen in the market, rather than AVAX is going back to $100 or whatever the all-time high is basically. But yeah, it's really just at this point I think focusing on the best gainers, the things that have been doing well this year. If you want to short when BTC is weak, just short stuff that wasn't performing really well, and really the BTC is, I think, really the leading kind of a thing in the market at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to stay higher for kind of longer, like with interest rates, higher for longer meme, to get like people. I've seen a lot of head and shoulders shit, but it's like, it's hard. Obviously, I don't want to be bull posting here, but I just think it's a bit of cope. But at the same time, I can see it go down when simply, people start, like this order flow lasts 6-7 days since the delay I've mentioned a million times. like it's, in my opinion, is the momentum is unsustainable, but it's not stopping yet, right? So like shorting because of head and shoulders, but then you have literally 500 million in leverage enter system just today, and you're shorting because head and shoulders and some influencer on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, you have to always try to be at least like patient. And to me, this is just strong. And of course, I know I'm mostly bearish and shorting, and well, now I sit and I watch everybody get rich, and I'm here biting my nails. That's how it is in life.
The the difference here, and you know, without, I don't really look at these kind of patterns and all that stuff, but I think like only big difference here is for anything, not only BTC, to go back to, you know, 50k, 45k, whatever price point, is that we already traded there. You know, like when we did this for the first time, there was like a lot of like, it was like price discovery basically. Now we have all these kind of structures, we have all these kind of SR levels on the way up, so I don't think this is going to be like this kind of one directional move all the way up to, you know, 50k, 60k.
That would be really wild, right? That's like
that
like actual bull run type mania.
That would be like, you know, I trade a bunch of shit. I don't think I ever seen like something that would like completely ignore all the, you know, all the kind of previous multi-year structures and just, you know, like go in one line to the upside basically. But yeah, you know, like,
and we don't really know, right? Like we like you especially, like you have a big following, right? We do this content. Nobody really knows. It doesn't matter if your name is whatever, insert your favorite influencer name. You really don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And people saying institutions are buying, like, look, number go up.
I think, and I also think like if you really want to trade these things, you need to kind of, you know, lose this emotional burden that, you know, coins are going up and you are maybe not, you know, long, or and try to aggressively short everything, and even like the opposite side when things are going down and you are all mad because, you know, you are not short or you are trying to long the dip and all of that. You know, it's like a huge difference, and I still kind of find it super funny that, you know, like obviously like I mostly post about crypto on Twitter because like people don't really care about anything else, so why bother? But yeah, like when I trade like legacy markets, like there is not like a big kind of legacy markets Twitter. There are not people arguing, you know, 24/7. No one really fucking cares. Like if I'm like long, you know, like today, like I'm long. I was not today, but last week I was longing, you know, the GBP USD, and you know, people laugh at that because they think, you know, it only moved like 1%, like it's 1% today, but obviously your kind of position sizes get like 10 times bigger than what you do in crypto, maybe even higher. So the returns are completely the same, and also at the same time, you know, like no one gives a shit. You know, like when I post like legacy chart on Twitter, you know, it gets like 10 likes. No one really says anything about it because people just don't care. So is this like very silent and quiet kind of space you can just trade and just like use your system and be very calm about that, compared to like me posting any thoughts on BTC and there's like 50 people just telling me I'm completely retarded and it's going to do the opposite. so yeah, it's funny, and like for a lot of people this can kind of like largely influence you. You know, like when you are just like sidelined, for example, and you see like 150 people claiming they shorted the bottom and, you know, posting like 7-figure PNLs or whatever, you know, which can be like inspect element or I don't know. So yeah, it's just fun, and I think, and I really feel like if you want to be kind of successful in this long term, you really need to be able to like completely disconnect from all this type of like shit, social media stuff. You know, like I'm not really active in like Discords. That's like too much social interactions for me. Like Twitter is more than enough.
Like we sometimes chat in Discord, that's about it, and we say, what a scam market, yeah, what a bullshit. Next day, I'm sidelined, yes, me too.
But like you really need to be able to kind of like completely disconnect from this or social media aspect and just kind of focus on the way that you are trading, and at the end of the day nothing really matters basically.
I'm pretty sure I can answer for Adam. He's not on Instagram. Look, me or
Yeah.
Adam will never be selling signals. If I had Edge, and I believe I have, or I had at least a few months ago, what I'm gonna do, hear me out, right? I either have a lot of my own capital and I can make money, I don't need your $20, or if I don't have the money, but I have the Edge, I talk to people with money and we make a deal, some sort of fund type structure, right? So nobody's gonna sell you signals for $10. If you think that's real, you're retarded.
Yeah, I'm definitely not on Instagram, Telegram, any social media, only on Twitter. Cool. So we've been going for almost an hour. We looked at some of the coins people mentioned. I think we can slowly kind of close this for today. Yeah,
Maybe
kind
a
of
few things. I have
few
more.
things, sure.
I know you want to quit. A lot of earnings this week. Microsoft, basically 16% of all S&P 500 earnings in like next 2 days could move. I know Adam said correlation is not there, but maybe we see some cracks in economy or potential pump if everybody beats. That's what I personally expect. And tomorrow there's deadline for Coinbase SEC lawsuit. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like in my opinion, correlation is still meme, but if there is a risk on, in like overall market, you know, if people start to buy stocks again, if S&P goes up again, people can kind of look at crypto, which, you know, is obviously up only at the moment, you know, and can positively kind of affect it. But yeah, also, I don't know, TLDR on the stream, basically, at this price point, just do nothing and wait a little bit. I definitely think from my personal point of view is that this is looking good. And if we are going to get pullback on BTC, you know, I would be more likely to go just long and you know, like we are in a range for 6 months. There was not a kind of any you know, like huge flush, huge kind of a 12k couple situation. So yeah, I would definitely be looking for longs.
But
I don't
this
know.
guy's doing crack. Like somebody's saying that you're 10 figure.
I don't even know how you say 10 figures in dollars. No, I don't know.
Yes, he's 10 figures and he's streaming with this retard RunnerXBT. Bro, please use a brain. What are these comments?
Yeah, I'm not on any Instagram, social media, and I'm also not trading with 10 figures. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. There is a food delivery, so I gotta
okay, hey, enjoy your meal.
Okay.